Hello, can everyone hear me? Yes. Oh, I should probably clicker. That's a bad start, the wrong font. So most brands are terrified of looking stupid. But I think in 2025, the worst thing, most dangerous thing you can do is look boring. So I'm going to talk to you about how brands can and should post memes. So I'm the co-founder and chief meme officer at Solo Coffee. I'm an award-winning barista, and how I used to introduce myself is I'd say, we aim to make specialty coffee more accessible. Now I say, we make strong black coffee in a carton. 6 months ago, we had barely any money, and we were told we were going into Tesco. We are a very successful brand in the on-trade, but basically no one knew us. So we were stuck at a crossroads. We could either do what we were doing before, which is spending money we don't have, posting meaningful content that educates people, or we go in a totally different direction and try to get a huge audience. So we used to follow the typical food and drink playbook, which is think that you're really important and that everybody wants to hear what you have to say. Post different serves with your product, show off about the fact that you've gone to LA, do everything very aspirational and basically not very relatable. So we deleted everything, we started again. I changed the bio to Coffee for Degenerates, and I left this one post up. As you can see here, very few people were looking at our account anyway, so we didn't have much to lose. So here's the new strategy. In a very short amount of time, about 3 months we had until we were going into Tesco, I needed to build an army of coffee degenerates. We started by finding our pen portrait. Our target demographic is basically me in a few years. And we had a long, hard think about what they would really like to see from a brand like ours, on Instagram especially. And we tried to make them laugh. So this is Dan, aged 36, lives in southeast London. He works in the creative field. He used to party way too much, and now he's mellowed down a little bit. His only high is his morning cup of coffee. The thing about Dan is he only goes on Instagram for a bit of light-hearted entertainment. He doesn't go there to buy anything. I think this was the biggest realization we had, because when we looked at our feed, we just thought, this is not what Dan wants to see. So here's the practice. We decided to just focus on entertaining. Selling was not even in the top 10 list of priorities. We just wanted to make them laugh. We wanted to entertain them. The idea was to post a meme every single day. Frequency is really crucial with this one. It's not a one and done, and it also allows you to really test everything. Embrace the dark, find the light. That is something we have on our carton. It relates to coffee, but I think more importantly, it was really focusing on not only Dan's flaws and all of the things that he likes to make fun of, but also our flaws and showing that we're self-aware. We're not trying to be aspirational anymore. We're more trying to laugh at ourselves and involve Dan in the conversation as well. So, speaking of conversation, don't start the conversation, join it. I'm gonna dive into this a bit more in the next slide, but there is a conversation that's going on, and brands don't seem to understand it. What is a meme? You may have seen this meme before. It says, it's just memes. Well, no, actually, they're digital timestamps which form the collective subconscious, but I shouldn't have to explain that to you. I'm going to explain it to you. Memes are a part of an ongoing conversation of the internet. There is a conversation that's going on. People are having a good time on socials. But so often, brands feel like they're handing out flyers at a party. Nobody wants to speak to them. Nobody cares about what you have to say because people are already having a good time and they're having a laugh. So we decided we actually need to read this conversation and add something valuable to it. It doesn't matter how good the flyer is. You need to read the room. So this is a terrible meme. This is the kind of meme that most brands make. They'll find a meme that's about 10 years old. They'll focus for the bottom of the funnel here. So it's the assumption that everybody knows your business already and is, for some reason, excited that you have a discount on. It's completely safe, inoffensive, doesn't really say much, and it's basically cringe. This is what we want to avoid, is the cringe. And of course, they outsource it to someone who doesn't know the brand. They say, right, I don't understand TikTok, so I'm going to get an 18-year-old social media manager who does, and then they leave it there because they think suddenly, if somebody knows the language of the internet, they know how their brand should show up on the internet. I think what you need to do, especially as a leader in the business, is you need to set the guidelines of what the brand, how it's represented through memes. If you are going to hire someone, they need to know how the brand shows up. All the best examples, Ryanair, or there's so many that they're now using an example, and people think that the go-to is get a 16-year-old who knows about this. But the truth is, they started with a guideline that was, this is how we interact, and then it was turned into jokes by the 16-year-old. So how brands should approach memes. Basically, the only question you should be asking yourself is this actually a funny joke? Forget about what your brand is saying and what kind of message you're trying to get across. If you look at it, is it funny? Because if it's not, or if it's not at all interesting, it won't get shared. Another good one is, does it feel like a brand came up with it? Obviously, Instagram viewers are very savvy to whether this is a brand trying to force their adverts into your feed, but it needs to feel like a brand did not come up with it. Here are some comments that we've had. It's basically me showing off, but Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande liking it, people saying that it's really touched their soul and it makes them cry. These are the kind of posts that you see on meme pages or on celebrity pages that rarely you see on a brand page. This is what we are going after. So I'm going to show you some of the memes that we've done. I've got a range here. I don't know if everyone can see it, so I'll read the caption. This one says, how I start speaking to coworkers after 3 coffees and no lunch. 10.9 million views.
How much money would it take to make you spend a night in a cemetery?
Ever gone mountain biking?
What do you want to be when you grow up? Can you remember the tallest man you've ever seen?
You ever visited a truck stop?
Have you ever had the desire to write your initials in wet cement?
Really stupid, but it was a funny video when I saw it, so the caption was quite easy to come up with. As you'll see, it's very, very broad. It has nothing to do with my business other than the fact that it's coffee. Also, the co-workers thing is a nice little hack because inevitably people have drunk too much coffee at work and then they start chatting shit to their co-workers. So they're obviously going to put that on their story or send it to their co-workers like, oh, this is so me yesterday. So that one, the strategy sounds like I was being really calculated, but it's only in retrospect that I can see, oh yeah, people would share that. This second one, Smoking Granny, as I've called it, is 2.4 million views. When I first saw the video, I was laughing hysterically, so I was like, I'm going to have to use this, but I thought, this is a bit risky, and it might be polarizing, and a brand definitely wouldn't normally post it, which was probably a good sign that it was going to do well. So it says, the second the coffee touches my lips.
Morning, Franny. How are you feeling today?
I need my cigarettes. Where are my ciggies?
Can't take you out at the moment, Franny. Anyway, it's looking a bit cold out there. Let's stay in the warm, eh?
Yes, but I need my ciggies. Where are my ciggies?
I need to set up this morning's activities. Do you want to help me?
But I feel a lot better when I've had a ciggy. And you got one?
So this is obviously like quite a niche part of the internet that's maybe a little bit dark, embracing the dark, but I guess it just touched a nerve with some people and it went flying. Pensive Horse, this is actually a space that I want to get into a bit more, which is using AI to come up with video content. I see brands are starting to jump on this, but it's they're, again, trying to do it bottom of funnel. This one is very much focused at Dan, our pen portrait. It's kind of a little bit alternative and reflective, doesn't really say much about our brand, but it did quite well.
So I ask myself, is the coffee making me feel more awake, or do I now need the coffee just to feel normal?
Okay, so this last one, it didn't do that well, but I wanted to put it up because it is hyper niche. This is about a festival that was in this building. It had about 5 or 10,000 people visit, so I knew that the audience wasn't a very wide one, but I thought, I just thought this is exactly what the festival was like, so I'm going to post it. And I just think it's quite interesting that something so niche could also spread pretty well. And on top of that, we had a lot of our target accounts that we're trying to get into liking the meme, saying, oh my God, so true. So yeah, I'll post, yeah.
Absolute waste of time. So fucking boring, Jesus.
Fuck matcha. Right. How do memes actually help a brand? So the compounding effect. Sharing on Instagram is the secret magic ingredient. When people see a meme, they feel more likely to share it because they don't think they're advertising for someone. When they share it, the numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think lots of brands think, right, we're speaking to our 10,000 followers, so we need to get 10,000 views. But when you start thinking outside of that, who's going to share it? How many followers are they going to have? That's when things really start ramping up. This then leads to followers. People follow accounts that are entertaining and that are going to continue to give them value. To be honest, they don't think much more than that. They look at a few posts and they think, these are all really funny, I'm going to carry on, I'm going to follow this account because I want to see more. It's not how it used to be where people would look up their favorite brands and follow for no reason. Now they just follow for entertaining content. Relatability. It makes you seem human. This is a really, really interesting point that we didn't really think too much of, but now people are opening up this conversation with us and we're actually building connection. Curiosity. Obviously, a meme, it doesn't necessarily sell your business, but it does, if it's funny enough, bring people to the account, and then they start to think, is this actually a real brand? Oh, what is this thing? And then they'll click the link in bio, and they'll find out more. And as you can see, eventually it could lead to a sale. You've become a meme lord. Now what? So millions of views means hundreds of thousands of profile visits, which means thousands of link clicks, which eventually become sales. It doesn't happen on the first meme, but I do think people see more and more of it, and then they find out more, then they see it in Tesco. It's a whole ecosystem, especially when you're posting every single day. Other brands will want to be involved. If you can speak the language of the internet to the most cynical audience out there, you suddenly unlock this superpower where retailers even, you see Tesco doing a lot of memes now, and then also brand partners. We suddenly had a lot of interest from Oatly, and they wanted to be involved because they saw that we're speaking to an audience. So congratulations, you've unlocked a new personality. This is a weird one. I think when you become more human and you talk about your own flaws, then suddenly people don't put you on such a high standard of professionalism. I think lots of brands feel like they need to look professional, but the only problem you get then is that as soon as your service is a tiny bit not professional, people are ready to criticize you because you look so polished. If you look flawed and scrappy, they're probably likely to be a bit more, you know, they're not gonna judge you as hard. And now you can have fun. So we then had to do our launch video. After posting ridiculous memes, we suddenly had a new playbook that we had to follow. So we spent a bit of money and we did this launch video that I'm about to show you now. It had to be of the same personality, the same vibe, and I'll press play on it.
So, girls, do we like our men like we like our coffee?
Well, rich and Italian.
Plus boring and bitter?
Well, at least mine doesn't need any complicated gadgets to give me what I want.
Oh, super sweet is definitely my Jimmy.
What about you, Ashley?
I like my men like solo coffee, kept in the fridge and hidden from my landlord.
Oh my god, it's the missing guy from the news.
You killed a man. This is fine. It's fine.
It's actually fine. I can see how you think it wouldn't be. But it is!
With solo coffee, I'm in control. I just grab a carton, mix with water or milk, and I'm set. No brewing, no queuing.
What are you talking to?
And just look at that! We've got 12 buyers on the line already!
This is so random. This would happen to us, wouldn't it, gal?
Hi, Mum. Yeah, can I just call you back? I'm just with the girls. Thank you.
Try solo coffee to feel unstoppable.
Pastels and purpose is out. Chaos and comedy is in. Perfect is polished. Polished is predictable. Predictable is forgettable. Post a stupid meme. Thank you very much. I'll answer some questions now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So entertain, entertain, entertain.
Be silly.
And be silly. Where can everyone get your coffee?
Tesco, I'd encourage you to get it there because they'll kick us out if you don't.
Amazing. Great. There you go. Great shout out. You've got a couple of questions. We've got a few minutes, so I'm going to ask them for you if we can wing through it.
Yep.
So how do you mitigate risk, especially risk of getting cancelled?
Well, we luckily came from a place where we didn't have a huge following, so we could seem like just a meme page.
Yeah.
I do understand that being a huge account does kind of hold you to higher standards. But I do think that people overthink it. When I talk about frequency, I think that I've posted a lot of terrible memes, or maybe even ones that could be seen as offensive. And it's amazing how short-term the world of the memes is. And I think that you just gotta test them.
Yeah. So
Shoot
just
them out.
take the risk and go for it. Great. So where can you get? Oh, someone's asking where they can get your T-shirt from. They like the meme graphic.
On our website.
On the website, which is?
drinksolocoffee.com.
There you go. And how does the ownership of rights on the original video content work when other brands that use them as a meme? So another legal question.
I don't know. I'm not the best
Take the risk.
copywriter.
Yeah. Take
I would
the
say
risk.
that a lot of people are posting memes anyway. So I've never been held to that kind of standard, but it's indecipherable whether you're a meme account or a brand account, and yeah.
Okay, great. And then the last one is, what would you recommend for bigger brands that need to go through content and legal hoops before posting something? Gosh, you're getting a lot of legal questions. There's a lot of brands out there.
And I'm
who
not a
need
very big
legal
brand.
advice.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I would say that you should probably test on a smaller scale, like maybe not that first terrible meme that I gave as an example, but something that has personality, because it doesn't need to be very offensive, and you can still make a very funny joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're being authentic, right, to your brand in the sense of understanding your persona, and if you have the question, which is it funny?
Yep.
Use that as your kind of benchmark and go from
100%,
there.
100%.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. A round of applause for Theo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.